I'm going to start with sending off Lee because Slaven has played down any problems after the game, but said that he did think it was the reaction of your bench that caused the sending off. What do you react to that?
Well, he's wrong. As simple as that. It's the rules of the game. Actually, the fourth official didn't even see it. So if there is anyone, I'm simply there to try and protect my player. When I see a hand around his throat, I don't like it. So I think I'm well within my rights to say to the fourth official, hey, deal with his hand around his throat. And actually, unbelievably, the fourth official didn't see anything. So it was the linesman that was probably 15, 20 yards down the line that's actually made the decision and spoke to the referee. So I can 100% say that any influence that we had in the game certainly didn't affect that particular decision.
Was it a red card in your view?
Well, you can't put your hand around someone's throat. Like if I come up to you in the street and put my hand around your throat, you're within your but you're within your rights to defend yourself. Do you know what I mean? I thought Pato done well, not to fling out and hit him. To be honest,
it was obviously a fault to start with because he was chipping away at the bloke from behind, wasn't he?
Yeah, but that's a foul.
Yeah,
that's fine. There's a foul in the game. There's a lot of fouls. If there was somebody grabbing someone around the neck after every foul, then it's silly from a very good player. It's a silly action.
The Slaven's also said you shook hands at the end and there wasn't any problem at the end.
No, I got no problem. No. Like we've been beat in a football match, and all right, he's had one of his best players sent off. But for me, I always shake hands with the opposition manager, because you know what I mean that's the way I am.
There was some suggestion on social media about tunnel problems and that sort of thing, and you didn't see him.
No. There was nothing.
He said the same.
No. Yeah.
So overall in the game, Lee, no complaints. Obviously, it was a fairly comprehensive win, wasn't
it? Yeah.
You helped them a bit with a few mistakes, didn't you?
Yeah, that's my complaint. My complaint is against my own side and the individual errors. Obviously, you got an opposition forcing those individual errors, but there was just too many on the day. I thought they tried hard, the boys. I thought they worked hard. I think we lack sometimes against the top teams that sort of physicality of the individual duels, and that's what you expect from a budget and a parachute payment and a Premier League spine, if you like, that West Brom gives. So therefore, as an individual, you've got to impose yourself in your way on the opponent as much as possible, and we done it all right. First 15-20 minutes, it was a game. It was a proper game. Like they would have felt our quality at times, and I thought then we had a little spell where there must have been 15-16 individual errors on the spin that led to sustained pressure from West Brom. And even then, when we had the option to just settle it a little bit by going a bit longer, maybe going a bit more direct, again, we made poor decisions. And look at the first goal, it's an individual error. The second goal, 2 individual errors. And the third goal is a howler of an individual error. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? And all best laid plans sometimes get thrown up in the air in moments like that. I think there was key moments that maybe we could have got back in it that again didn't go for us. One, Callum's opportunity in the first half, when they had 11 men, Naki's chance, it was not a bad one, slap bang in the middle of the goal with half a goal open, and then the sending off like at 2-0, do you know what I mean? And then it's obviously a double whammy, because not only have we suddenly become lifted and the crowd have become lifted, but all right, we've got a chance with 10 men, that we've conceded probably 45 seconds after that red card, and I don't know how quick it was after, but it must have been a couple of minutes, and then it just again took the wind out of everybody's sails, both supporters and players.
He's had some great games for you, hasn't he, this season?
He has, and like I say, sometimes those individuals errors happen. Unfortunately, it's happened today against a very good side, and you can't carry those individual errors against a good side because they'll punish you.
Thank you.
Lee, I just had one question about the run-up to the game, because you said in the build-up that obviously you only had 12 players training on Monday.
Yeah.
You hoped to have 20 on Friday. How did it pan out in the end? Did you get
we had our 20 players Friday. I got no excuses how I went into the game. Like, I don't like it's not like the Leeds game. It's very different. I went into the game full of beans, like believing that everybody was back fit and firing, and sort of got over that big identity crisis. And I suppose that's the bit today. I don't think that we didn't play with identity. I just don't think we executed the identity anywhere near well enough, and that's the bit that against the top teams we just haven't been able to do, and that's why we're not at this stage top two.
I've got a couple of pre-Huddersfield questions. Should I do
Crack
them? So yeah, Huddersfield then. How's the squad looking? How's Corey doing? Masengo not involved today. Are those guys possibly in contention for Tuesday? Or?
Yeah, Masengo just it was harsh on him today, but he just didn't make the squad, and that's often because the bench is picked in a very different way than the team. You know what I mean? And we needed cover in certain areas. You know, we needed a centre half, we needed a cover at centre half and right back. We needed left back cover, which is Rowie, and of course Rowie can play centre mid as well. So Masengo's been fantastic. You know what I mean? I don't know how many. It'd be interesting actually to see the stats on how many minutes like anybody sort of 18 years of age has had in the Championship this year. Obviously Bellingham's had a lot of minutes as a younger player, but I think he's done fantastically well to come across and perform as he has done. Corey Smith went in to potentially have his knee drained because he's got a pocket of fluid, but he didn't have it drained because there wasn't enough fluid. So we need to push him really over the next couple of days.
Is he just unlucky, or is there a weakness there somewhere?
I don't know actually. I think on that injury, I think it was definitely unlucky on the injury before. It's not an old injury, you know. It's a unique one. So it happens. Like obviously Corey's combative. What's the word? Combative. So he's gonna get little knocks and stuff like that. But
you could have done with him today.
Really? Yeah. I mean, look, just again, he would have been in the last couple of teams, wouldn't he? Because he'd performed well, and that seems to happen to us. And don't forget, you've also pulled out Brownhill. And that's the catch-22 really, is where you find that quality of that all-rounder that Brownhill gives you within the.
One question, Lee. Will it be until you can keep a Brownhill and sign players that the success everyone wants will come? Can you do it by bringing one in and letting one go?
Well, in no doubt, in an ideal world, I would have. If you said to me, right, what gets you? Held a gun to my head and said, what gets you promoted? You keep Brownhill and sign Wells. It's as simple as that. So I'm not going to hide from that, but for whatever reason couldn't happen. I'm not saying it was the wrong decision at all to do it, because whether it's financially or the fact that Brownie's contract situation or whatever, sometimes you can't stop it. It's very difficult to stop.
I'm not just thinking of him, Webster, Kelly. You know, every time you bring a couple in to improve, two leave the weekend. And
I suppose that's the grey area in between the definition of success or not. It's as simple as that. So what we've got to do is work. Listen, it happens and it's happened. So therefore, what we've got to do is find the answers, and we're trying to find the answers mid-season. Often you can find the answers in a pre-season. But we've had to find the answers at the start of the season, mid-season, and now at the end of the season, where it should kick in. And I won't lie, that's the dilemma. You know, you're looking at the shape, you know what I mean, of the team. You're looking at individual attributes. You pull, I don't know, Bobby Reid out of a team, for example. It changes the press drastically, because he sets the press, and people adjust off the back of that press. I'm not talking about Bobby Reid, and I'm not moaning about what's gone on. But I'm just saying that on any individual unit, whether it be a workforce, a press force, a family force, take a key member out of that, somebody else needs to step up into that role and produce the little bit that you've lost. And obviously we brought Naki in for his goals, and I think he's done really well, like in terms of his quality, his silk on the ball. Like he's had good chances since he's been here. Even at Leeds, he had 2 good chances, one that was probably better, and that's what you want from a striker. You want him to keep getting in there, keep getting the chances. Obviously, he scored his goal against Derby, and that started the swing of momentum for us.
And just finally from myself, just on Huddersfield, what do you make of them who've lost today? I think against Swansea, do you expect a similar game to the possibly best home performance of the season?
No, not really. I think they're very different to when they were then. Obviously, they're sort of still fighting for their lives down there. It's a trip up to Yorkshire, and we've got to go and be better. And I think we've got to make sure that we pick a team of individuals that can get that balance. That's the thing for me. It's the yin and the yang versus the release of the attacking players and the quality and the flair, more importantly, versus the steel. And obviously with Corey out, we have missed that in the last couple of games, and I think that's there for everybody to see. But somebody's got to take that mantle.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Cheers.